And if you have not like and subscribe, please do like and subscribe. If you like my channels, anything, share, tell your friends to subscribe. It just helps me and kind of motivates me to make more video for you. So today in this video I'm gonna talk about long-term investment, how to set up your long-term portfolio, what to buy, what not to buy, what to look for. So one thing is you need to remember, right? By not investing money in the stock market, you are losing your money. There is inflation. The US inflation rate is about, if you look at that, US inflation is about, I think, 2 to 3%, right? So yeah, the annual inflation is 1.2 for the 12-month ended October 20, compared to previous was 1.4. It's about 1 to 2%. So it's depending, it changes. I think the if you look at 2009 to 12, we can have a better idea. So yeah, we have 1.53, 1.7, 1.5. So if you look at that, kind of we average around 2, right? So we can say clearly, safely, the inflation rate is 2. So now, I mean, with the inflation rate, if you are not investing, you are losing money. So let's say you have a cash, right? You have a cash. So we can actually show in Google Doc right here, right? So by not investing, let me do portfolio long term, and I'm gonna go about that in long detail. But so basically you have uh, $10,000, right? That's your $10,000. By not investing, you are losing about uh, 2%, right? So 2% per year. So what I'm gonna do is, let's do this. Okay, so 2%. I guess I could have just do that. So you are losing this. So what I'm gonna do is, this is your principal. So here, uh, what I'm gonna do is into uh, well, I could just do 98%, right? So each year that's 98%. So yeah, equal to um, so basically 0.98 times this. So your 10,000 will be this, and it will be this. It will 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So basically your $10,000 will become 8,337. That's how you fast lose. Think about, like, you have 10,000. So if it's a bigger amount, let's say you have 100,000, that's 83. And from, if you have $1,000,000, you are left with 830. So you basically, if you have a cash, you lost like 200,000 if you have $1,000,000. So by not investing, you are doing that. Now, by investing, what you do is the power of compounding. Investing is about, so investing is, so same thing, right? We take it, investing, S&P, and if you look at the historical, S&P kind of gives you about 8 to 10%. And if you look at this, what you can do is times um, times 1.10. So basically times 1.1. So that's all it's doing. About, I'm giving it 10% on average, and your 100,000 will become 235,000. Look at that. If you have a cash, you are losing money, and if you invest it, you literally double, into more than double actually, right? 235% within 10 years. And if you look at that, the rate of increase growth so exponentially, it's in the both sides. So if you look at 13 to 23, for 20 years, 611,000. Whereas if you just let it grow let it leave that save in cash, it's almost 68. So basically it will probably become half in 30 years. But if you look at this long terms, you will be millionaire by 30 years, I think. Probably even sooner. But yeah, if you look at 33, yeah, you have 1.58 million if it frees. So that's a fact. That if you look at that, it has been, again, there's no guarantee it will happen, but pretty much if the history is anything, here you see almost from 100,000 to you are at 55,000. Here you are almost from 100,000 to almost 1.5 million, almost 1.6 million dollars, right? So that's why one thing is you need to invest, otherwise you are losing money. Simple answer, right? Straight up, there's nothing, and this is the fact. You lose because of the inflation. Now, how do you choose the stock? So most people, the thing is, like, most people, this is long term. If you are even trading, I think you should do it. You should put some money, whatever profit you're making from trading, and funnel into it. This method works all the times, and I'm gonna so so best way to invest. The thing is, like, when you try to pick, I mean, unless if you are a great trader, you are really good at pick, your yearly return is like 30, 40%, 50% every year, that's great. But if you are just beginning this year, don't look at this year return and say, oh, I made like 80% and I'll keep continuing. Probably that's not going to happen. This was a really exceptional year. But if you look at history, you got to look at the, but if you have experience for 4 or 5 years and if your return is anywhere less than let's say 10, 12%, I think you should definitely do that. If you are great, if you are doing 20, 30%, probably keep doing what you are doing. You are good to go. But if not, um, keep listening, I guess. So now, most people lose money in trading, even day trading. Options probably lose more. So what do? You invest, you diversify, you invest in index. So with index ETFs, so ETFs, you need to look into the expense ratio. You got to make sure you want, so Vanguard is one of the cheapest one. If you look at the expense ratio, it's 0.08, which is really good. You want something below 0.25, it's usually good. But if it's anything below 0.1, that's really good. So Vanguard is one of the regarded one of the cheapest ETF. They're really good. And we're gonna kind of look through. So how do you invest? So I have this spreadsheet. So what you should do is, so there's investing, there's ETF, there's literally, I think, 5 to 7 thousand ETF. So you need to make sure you diversify. So what you do is, I think like 50, 60, this number can even increase for ETF since you are not exposed to single stock. But what I like is, again, you can kind of tweak it, whatever work for you. But I'll just giving you the general idea. So first is 50%. So 50% you should give for the whole index, the ETF, which covers a country region, right? So SPY. SPY is top 500 US companies, right? So SPY is top 500 US company. So you're basically buying a SPY, you're betting for the US. United States gonna do good, as Warren Buffett, right? On the long run, don't bet against the USA. So exactly, that's what you're doing. You are putting your money for the USA. It doesn't matter. One company can go bankrupt, but overall, they will kind of come up. They will grow, right? Those are the like QQQ is tech, very tech heavy. SPY is everything. QQ is tech heavy. VOOZ is a growth companies, a company which is growing, like a Roku, a Square, even PayPal, and things like that, right? And lot of those. Now, within this, one thing you need to do is, I think I would do again within this, you need to kind of diversify some in the, so total you should put in 50%. But what you can do is maybe 30, 40% in USA, and you want some emerging market exposure. What is emerging market? Emerging market is, we are talking about Brazil, and a lot of like India, China. They are doing a lot of they are doing one thing is, so this is basically a region. You can say international emerging, as well as kind of US versus rest of the world, or you can even go Europe and China. So I basically like to cover emerging market. A lot of those include a lot of this developing country, so that's good. If you want some Chinese exposure, you can look into some China. So a lot of people are betting China will be ahead in next 5-10 years. So maybe by betting in China, you are just kind of not gonna miss just in case they come up, right? So that's why diversification is key, because at the end of the day you don't know. And SPI will cover everything. So but you can look it up. It's simple. Google. You can like literally search like I literally went to and look some Vanguard ETF. You can see this is US stock ETF. This will tell you dividend paying and growth ETF, high dividend ETF, and there's tons, right? Mid cap, small cap. This is international bond ETF, international stock. There's a lot of those things, right? And you can have this sector too. We'll go over those sector, but it's easy as, for example, Chinese EV ETF. So you can do and 3 ETF for neo exposure, right? So it tells you, so you don't have to buy neo. You can actually buy okay, so KGRN, neo was down, that's why probably down, but you can just do some Google search and kind of find out, right? So that is there. So you can just find out and invest in any of the whatever sectors you want, right? Now, so those should be your regional. You're not in one sector, you are just betting against the whole country, everything, right? That should be your measure, probably 40 to 50%. Now other things like 30%, I think you can put in the tech sector ETF, which you think's gonna do good. So right now, if you think like solar is doing extremely well, EV is doing well, cloud is really doing good, right? And biotech is really doing well. Similarly, I think you can see weed is doing really well. So you can actually buy those ETF. Why you are buying this ETF rather than a stock is, for example, right? You have Tesla, you have Neo, you have even GM is kind of getting into that. You have Nikola, probably not a big, but you have Li Auto, you have XPEV, you have a lot of these company, right? So at the end of thing, you think Tesla is clear winner, which it is probably, but you never know, right? You never know what's going to happen in 5 to 10 years. And if you look at the history, uh, IBM was one great example, right? IBM was like really doing great before, and probably not so much. If you look at the chart, right, from 2012, IBM was really great till then, but from it was almost 212, and if you look at now, it's 110. IBM, investing in IBM, you lost almost half the money. IBM is a tech company, right? Technology service, right? IBM is a tech company. So not all tech company will do good. So IBM was great at that time. Exactly Tesla is great at this time, but nobody knows what's going to happen in next 5 to 10 years. So that's why you need to kind of you know you need to kind of diversify. You are not exposing into particular sector and particular stock. With the stocks, unless you are really good at it, right? If you're really good at it, if you can pick it up good point, you know your stop loss, you're really active, it's fine. But if you are not, which most people are not, it's just best to get ETF. But if you just had the technology ETF, right? For example, QQQ is a technology ETF, all tech stock. Look at this. Look at this chart, right? That went literally from here to here. This went from here to here. Here you would not have to care about like what it probably this includes IBM too. I'm pretty sure it includes IBM, right? So, but it really doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter whether it includes IBM or not. The point is, if you buy the ETF, overall, if the trend is up, you will make money, unless you are in the wrong sector, right? If you picked I think energy kind of did not excel, I guess, right? Probably did not do well. So if you had energy, probably you are losing, yeah, kind of from 14 to now, you are losing. But if not, then you are making, like, if you pick the right technology. That's why picking up one stock is not a great idea, right? That's why. So that's why you choose a sector. So what hot sector you think for next 5 to 10 years, right? It could be biotech, it could be solar, it could be EV, it could be cloud, it could be weed, right? So it's really easy. Like you want to find some the weed ETF, you can just do weed ETF, right? Probably it's gonna best marijuana stock. You can just do, five best marijuana stock, I mean ETFs, and there's probably like yeah, this is MJ. Yeah, this is a marijuana ETF. So if you buy into this, probably you don't need to. You can kind of actually look into it, what they carry, everything. So if you buy that, you don't. Not every stock has to do well, right? So you can have like you bought into CGC and they got a good scandal, something a big scandal, and they lost their market cap overnight, right? But if you have ETF, it doesn't matter if they lost their market cap, other will be making money, right? So you will be like, okay, you will be fine. So that's why, so you are and it's hard to predict, you can have that randomly. That's why 30% you should pick kind of, your sector ETF. Could be EV, could be cloud, right? There's a lot of like, there's work from home ETF, work from home ETF. So you can search for pretty much any ETF. So I actually have one of those. I forgot the ticker. I need to, I guess, work from home, WFH. Hmm. Yeah, WFH. It's one of them, I guess. WFH ETF. And actually, you can look into work from reduction product, WFH, and you can actually look into what overview and what it contains, and you can see everything about it, like what are the companies. Yeah, see, look at that. By buying this work from home, WFH, you are putting in Zoom video, uh, America Mobile, not sure, Elastic, Tech Company, Oracle, Xerox, Alibaba, VMware, CrowdStrike. See, then you are not exposed. It really doesn't matter. Like Elastic is 2.7. Elastic can literally go bankrupt, you still be fine, right? So you don't have, but if you have everything in Zoom, and if Zoom goes 70% down, you are 70% down. Here, even if Zoom goes zero, even if Zoom go 50%, you are like probably not even a percent, right? Very small. I mean, it's 3% pretty significant, but you lose 1%, right? So it's half. So basically, and usually like their competitor will do good. So by having a ETF, you are in a good place. So I guess that makes sense. So that's, you can pick up bio, solar, EV, cloud, whatever. And now for 20% you can actually pick a stock. So pick a good stock, maybe speculative stock which you think is gonna do really well, right? Let's say you found something like which is trading at $10, very small company. So this is your play, kind of. Even you can buy even Tesla if you bet like it's gonna double, but this is the speculative money you can kind of play around. You can do around. So that's really good. So yeah, I think this works really great. If you have any more question or comment, let me know, a comment below. Other than that, yeah, don't forget to like, share, and I will keep making this video. Thank you guys.